smoker, I'm a midnight toker. Sure don't want to hurt no one. People keep talking about me, baby. Say I'm doing you wrong. Well, don't you worry, don't worry, no, don't worry, mama. 'Cause I'm right here at home. You're the cutest thing I ever did see. I really love your peaches, wanna shake your tree. Lovey-dovey, lovey-dovey, lovey-dovey all the time. Come on, baby, now show you a good time. Let me tell you about a girl I know. She is my baby and she lives next door. Every morning before the sun comes up, she brings my coffee in my favorite cup. That's why I know, yes I know, hallelujah, I just love her so. When I'm in trouble and I have no friend, I know she'll go with me until the end. Everybody asks me how I know. I smile at them and say she told me so. That's why.
What I feel, I can't Hey guys, we're going to kick off in 5 minutes. If you haven't gotten a beer refill, get it now. Look for your seats. Presenters, start thinking about getting back towards your seats. 5 minutes, y'all. We kick off at 7:30 on the dot.
Taxman's taken all my dough and left me in my stately home, blazing on a sunny afternoon. And I can't sail my yacht, he's taken everything I got. All I've got's this sunny afternoon. Save me, save me, save me from this squeeze. I got a big fat mama trying to break me, and I love to live so pleasantly. Live this life of luxury, blazing on a sunny afternoon. Summertime, in the summertime, in the summertime. My girlfriend's run up with my car and gone back to her ma and pa, telling tales of drunkenness and cruelty. Now I'm sitting here, sipping at my ice cold beer, blazing on the sunny afternoon. Help me, help me, help me sail away. Well, give me 2 good reasons why I ought to stay. 'Cause I love to live so pleasantly. Live this life of luxury, blazing on a sunny afternoon. In the summertime, in the summertime.
Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend.
All right, we are back, you guys. Can I get a round of applause for the fact that we are back? That's what I like to hear. I missed the power of the microphone. I know y'all did. I am going to yell at you to clap more, so please be enthusiastic because we have a smaller crowd tonight for our awesome presenters. So, take up a little more space volume-wise. We appreciate that. I got to do my housekeeping. You know how this goes. So first of all, can we have a round of applause for Atlanta Tech Village? Thank you. They are our perpetual sponsors. They are buying the beer tonight. They have kindly actually purchased super fancy streaming. So for the pitch off only, we have fanciness tonight, you guys, just for you. They have been our sponsors for, 7 years, 8 years before I had this. And we appreciate them. They give up the space every time, set up the chairs, and do all the wonderfulness for us. Normally, we have volunteers that help us do the chairs. We are hopefully going to get back to that in a couple of months, so I'll let you guys know. Volunteers in exchange for setting up the chairs get a 30-second pitch in front of the audience. Pre-COVID, we typically had 200 to 300 people turn out. Hopefully, we'll get back up to that. We do right now still have about 100 people online. So it's going to work a little bit differently tonight. We are going to do 5-minute pitches, 5-minute Q&A. I know y'all missed me yelling, repeat the question. We're going to get to do that again because we're going to take live questions as well as some questions online. So there will be times where I interrupt and ask some questions that people are posting because not everybody is as lucky as you guys and got tickets. So thank you all for coming out tonight to make this in-person pitch-off special. At the end, don't go anywhere after the final presentation because we're going to put up the link to vote. This is important. This is what we're all here for. The audience favorite tonight, the winner of the pitch-off will get not 1, but 2 hot desks at Atlanta Tech Village for a year and parking, which in Buckhead is super important and possibly worth more than the hot desks. So stay, vote. We're going to do it live. You're going to get to see the numbers change. Vote for your favorite. If you corralled all your friends and family out here, they may all vote for you. Who knows? Overloaded the voting. Those of you at home, please also vote. This is important. All right. So because Atlanta Tech Village has been our forever sponsor, we're going to let them say pretty things to you. Julie, please give her a round of applause.
Thanks, y'all. Raise your hand if this feels so weird. Like, so weird to be back in person and for some of us to not have our masks on. That's crazy. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Julie Pierre. I am the Director of Community here at Atlanta Tech Village. We're so happy you guys are here, truly. Raise your hand if you are an entrepreneur. Oh my gosh, we have so many of you. Raise your hand if, as an entrepreneur, you are building a tech startup and proprietary technology, which is B2B SaaS, robotics, augmented reality, all the things. Quite a few of you, actually. This is fun. If you had your hand up there at the end, I'm actually talking to you. The rest of you, I'm so sorry you have to listen to me talk for like 30 seconds. But we here at Atlanta Tech Village are the 4th largest technology startup hub in the nation, supporting about 300 startups and almost 1,000 members. And we do that through a community that gives them faster connections to talent, ideas, and capital, which as entrepreneurs, whether you are tech or not, you know how important that stuff is. And so we believe that we are actually the best place for tech startups to build and grow their business. So if that sounds awesome to you, if you are looking for a space, place, community to build, grow, and succeed faster, we would love to talk to you. Pre-COVID, we were actually full capacity. I still wanted to talk to you. I just didn't have a whole lot to offer. Now, because of COVID, I do have some space. And so we really do want to talk to you. And I want to talk to you about what membership could look like for you and your startup. So to get a hold of us, you can email me at julie@atlantatechvillage.com or sign up for a tour on our website. We are back to doing small group tours. And so I would love to see you there. Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.
All right. I have less housekeeping because we're weirdly this hybrid in person. Did I forget anything, Hilton? Are we good? All right. So can we please give a warm welcome to our very first presenters of the night, Order Nerd. That's where you all clap. That is not loud enough. Thank you.
Check. I'm ready when you are. Okay, how many of you have ordered food online on an app like Uber Eats or DoorDash? Okay, How many of you know what actually happens after you press buy on your phone? Not as many. I'm going to give you some insight. There are tons of these apps. DoorDash, Grubhub, Postmates, Uber Eats, ChowNow, Chowlease, Slice, Waiter. You get the idea, right? We did some research, and we figured out that most consumers only have one, maybe two of these apps on their phone. And so what's happening is the restaurants are stuck scrambling, trying to figure out which apps they should be on to get in front of you all. And what they're doing is they're partnering with multiple online ordering platforms, 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 of them. And what's happened is that's added complexity to the restaurant because each one of these companies gives that restaurant a little tablet with their app on it to get the orders. And so the front of house staff is playing whack-a-mole, trying to get all the orders in. They're transferring your order by hand from these tablets into the point of sale, which is slow and error prone. Back in the office, the owners have to log into 5 different websites to look at 5 different reports to try to get a handle on their sales numbers, and they cannot export that data sometimes to put it in a single place. On top of this, the managers, when they want to make a menu change, they have to log into 5 different websites and update 5 different menus. That's if you have one location. Enter OrderNerd. We aggregate all of these third-party online ordering platforms into a single pane of glass for restaurants. What that means is one app for front-of-house staff to use. The orders are automatically synced to the point-of-sale system for them. The owners can log into a single dashboard online, see all of their sales in a single place, and the managers can manage a single source of truth for a menu, make a change one time, press a button, and that change is synced to all the online ordering platforms instantly. This is our app. It works on day one. All the restaurant has to do to get started is enter their credentials for each service into our backend portal and turn on the app. The training for this app with restaurant staff takes 10 minutes. Day one, the owner can log into our website, see all of their sales across all their services, across all their locations in a single pane of glass, and they can export the data if they want to. There are 700,000 restaurants in the US. And here's the thing, everyone thinks that online ordering got big just because of COVID, and it did get a boost, don't get me wrong. But what most people don't know is that pre-COVID-19, 77% of restaurants in the country were using third-party online ordering. It was here before COVID, it's gonna be here after. Do the math, that's 500,000 restaurants that can utilize this kind of service. You've heard a lot of complaints about how much money Uber Eats and DoorDash charge, 30% of the sale, which is absurd. We do not use that pricing model for that reason. We charge a flat, transparent fee to the restaurant, no upfront cost, no commission on orders. We are live right now in 97 restaurants in 5 states, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Virginia, and we just signed somebody in Illinois. We have a 2% churn rate all time, which we're very proud of. And we have projected to be in over 500 locations in the next 12 months based on partnerships currently in negotiation. Since we're in Atlanta, you can see some of our great brands that have trusted us with their business here in the ATL. I'll end our presentation with our team. My name is Stephen Gladney. I am the CEO of OrderNerd. I've got 12 years of experience in sales amongst also product management, competitive intelligence, and a little bit of software engineering. I worked at SalesLoft, if you're familiar with SalesLoft, as well as Scout Mob, where I got my start in restaurants. When I was at SalesLoft, I met my co-founder, technical lead, Justin, who has 20 years experience in software engineering with a specific emphasis in integrations, which is the lifeblood of OrderNerd. And then while we were at SalesLoft, we also met Marco, who's our third co-founder, who has worked at not one, but 2 hyper-growth startup companies in Atlanta. And aside from being an amazing engineer, Marco is highly committed to building a people-first organization because it's more than just about code for us, it's about the team as well. I've got 30 seconds left. I'm not gonna show you a demo because it'd take way too long, but I do have a tablet here and happy to show you the app on a real system with real orders after the event. Come find me. Thank you guys so much. We are OrderNerd.
No, Gladly, you have to stay up there and do Q&A.
I forgot about that part. Repeat the question, repeat the question.
Please raise your hand in the audience if you've got a question, and Stephen will call on you. Those of you at home, please ask your question in the chat or in Slido, and I will repeat it.
Hi, everybody online. Red shirt up here. Yeah, so the question was, what kind of customer feedback have we gotten so far? I have personally sold and onboarded every single one of our customers, and I make it a point to try and come back to that restaurant 1 week after implementation to see how they're doing. That's the greatest part of the job. Because like the owners of the restaurants who actually pay us, like they get it and they like it, but they're not on the front lines. Like they like the reporting thing. But when you go to like a cashier or the person who's actually putting the food in the bag and they tell you how much better you've made their quality of life, like that's the best thing there is, right? And I have screenshots of emails, I have videos and people hugging and pictures and all the selfies we've done. That's why we do it, right? Because we just see how much of a headache and a nightmare it was, and it shouldn't be that hard. Right here? Yep. So the question was, do we integrate into point of sale systems like Spot On and Square? And that is chapter 2 of Order Nerd. We just finished building integration into Revel, and we are currently working on Clover. The POS market's kind of segmented. They're the major players like the Squares and the Toasts of the world. There's this whole other market of less mature point of sales that you've never heard of, but have like 1,000 customers. And while maybe Grubhub will do a partnership with Toast, these other POS companies are just left sitting around with nothing, and they're just waiting for a partner. And so we're going to go after and build the Clovers and the Toasts and the Squares, but we're also doing partnerships, and our platform is API driven, so the small guys can actually build to us as a flip on that integration as well. So that is chapter 2 of Order Nerd, absolutely. Yep, right here. So the question was, Grubhub would lose a large chunk of their revenue. Why would they work with us? Why would they lose revenue? No, so we call them DSPs, delivery service providers, the Ubers and the Grubhubs. They typically do a percentage of revenue on their sales, right? And the restaurants are just kind of have to deal with that, right? But they hate that pricing model. We have chosen not to charge that type of fee for our service. Some of our competitors also do like an additional 5%. So you've paid 30% to Grubhub, now it's 5% to, I won't say their name, right? We don't like that pricing model. It's a flat fee per month, so we're not charging that. They still can, and that's wrong in my opinion, but they do it. Right here? Are we able to acquire any of the guest data? So typically on orders, the DSPs will provide a customer name, like a first name, and a phone number. It's not very often that's the actual phone number. They'll use a proxy, like a generic number with a PIN number, so we don't actually get that. We've had interest in selling customer data. That's not our interest right now, just to be honest. Back here? So the question was, how do we think about, can you phrase the question again? Sorry. So you're grabbing your revenue from the restaurant. Yep. Versus, there are some folks who kind of provide menu data to DSPs and do it that way. How do you think about that? Okay. So the question was, we're currently taking our value from the restaurateurs paying us for the consolidation. How do we think about maybe offering menu data to the DSPs? It's a possibility. Our mission and what we call ourselves Order Nerd is local businesses and restaurants in particular are getting left behind by technology. The world's changing. We all have computers in our pockets, and that's how you're ordering food now. They're trying to run a restaurant, right? They want to offer great food and great service, and there's just so many things they have to manage about their menu and their Yelp page and now their delivery apps, right? Like they just need a partner to help them with that stuff, and we want to be the nerds for the restaurants. So maybe one day there's a play there, but that's not what we started the company. And it's not what Order Nerd is about, at least not today. We're here for the local little guys.
We've got an online question that's been out there a bit. Are there plans to provide first-party features on top of the integrated services?
Yes. We've thought about starting our own online ordering platform. So there's a new trend coming where point of sales will offer their own native online ordering, and even the DSPs are now doing it where it's commission-free. We could do that as well, right? We've talked about doing menu optimization, A/B testing different menu designs, lots of ideas. But yes, I guess I'm out of time. Thanks.
All right. I know that one of the parts that you guys really missed is where I accidentally throw things at people in the audience and it doesn't go so well. So since I am down here, I'm not required to throw things, but I do have a pair of Atlanta Tech Village socks for the loudest person in the room. Really? Loud people over here? Ooh, all right. I have to tell you, this gentleman here is like losing his mind. Don't worry, there will be more. There will be more. I have more socks. I have some shirts. People have been known to win them via dance-offs, so keep that in mind. Not to worry. Miles, how you doing there? All right. As soon as we get Miles up and running, your mic on.
Check.
All right.
You guys get loud for a pair of socks. Wow.
I
okay.
know, right?
Let's hear it for y'all. Get excited very easily. All right.
It's the little things, Miles. Okay. Miles with AI Auto Roadside.
Nailed
Did I
it.
say it right that
Nailed
time?
it. Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah.
Round of applause for Miles.
All right. I appreciate the hype. The hype does a lot. I appreciate that. Okay. So, AI Auto. We are living in a time of disruptions with different industries, and we've seen the hotel industry disrupted. We've seen the taxi industry disrupted. Who can guess what's coming next, right? Roadside assistance is so crazy broken. 2 years ago, before COVID, I was on a business trip to Boston. My wife calls me frantic, saying, Miles, I had to get formula for the baby. I got a flat tire. It's raining like crazy. I need help. Right away, I'm kicking into gear like, okay, what do I do? How can I help, right? And I'm thinking in myself, is there an Uber for roadside? I don't trust how long it takes or the people that come with traditional. We were forced to go the insurance route. Naturally, people are thinking, oh, where's my insurance card? I got a flat, or I need a tow, or I got a lockout. And this is a major problem. For her, it was a problem because she didn't know who was coming, when they were coming, and how much it was going to increase our insurance rates. And for me, I'm at the hotel stewing, thinking a creepo's headed at 9 a.m. or 9 p.m., 10 p.m. to my wife. I got to make sure everything's okay. So it was this awakening that there needs to be something done. And it's not just a great idea, it's something that's actually completely, fully produced. It started with a VIP session in Dubai, believe it or not. I can tell you all later about that. But a couple years later, published on Apple. I have 22 cities in the US with thousands of service providers that I literally Zoom before they get hired. Every service provider is a member of y'all's local community that's just trying to provide some supplemental income for their families. A tire change, a jump start, a lockout. This is all provided by people who live closer to you, and that money goes in their pocket. Our average response time for dispatch is about 20 seconds. And I'll show you a demo here in just a moment. Our time of arrival is about 20, 30 minutes. Who here, by the raise of hands, has waited an extenuated period of time? I already see the hand. I haven't finished the question. You already know where it's going, right? So this is the big disruptor. And this is why it's so incredibly easy to get people on board and nodding and shaking their heads. And yes, this is happening, right? So what I want to do is give you guys a little bit of peek, okay? This app that I put together, it took a couple of years for my engineers, our chief technology officer to do, is able to conduct 10,000 transactions simultaneously within a given time. This can handle the US, it can handle the entire globe, believe it or not. It's built on very solid framework. So what I'd like to do is actually show you real quick the back end that powers all this. This is a live feed of service providers in your area that are either offline or online or in the middle of jobs. If I wanted to kind of zoom out and take a look at the US, and by the way, it takes me about 15 minutes to open up a city, we see that people are standing by, ready to go, ready to help. And that's the big point, is to get you back on the road, because you have an interview to go nail. You have groceries to go pick up. You got people to go pick up that are counting on you. And who wants to wait for AAA? I want to hear it. Who really wants to wait for AAA, right? All right, let's take a look at the app real quick.
I promise this worked in practice. There we go. Hey!
All right, I got 50 seconds, and I'm going to show you how easy it is, how quick it is to get some service. I got to cancel it because I don't want him coming through the door asking, who needs a tow, right? But there's two apps, of course. At the very bottom, you see iUto or AI Auto. One's for a provider, and one's for a user. If I open it up, it's going to do some biosecurity. And right away, it's a very familiar interface, right? We're going to be able to do one-touch requests for jump start, for tire change, believe it or not, for mobile oil change, for towing, for refueling. This is very modular. So if I wanted to add another auto service on there, it's very easy from a product standpoint to do. I just have to make sure I certify the people that do it. And with the last second, I'll just mention that I only hire people who I would send to my wife that night in the middle of the night. So there's a high level of credibility to the people that go and help you out. So that's AI Auto. Thank you all. All right, I'll go ahead and take questions. Yes? Right, so the education piece is huge. It's hard to educate people.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I'll repeat the question. So, basically, the question is essentially, how are you going about educating people about this service? How are you getting users on the app and so forth, on both sides? Believe it or not, the service provider side is very easy. The gig economy is hungry to be able to provide some type of service for a commission. And we actually pay double than Allstate or AAA, so that's the easy part. By a couple months from now, I could easily have upwards of 10,000 service providers. I'd rather focus on quality. The side that I really need is the education in the marketplace. Every single city needs to know that this is available, and it would be easy choice, right? So that's what I'm working on. Thank you.
We've got a question online. How do you guarantee the assistant shows up, and what do you do if it doesn't? And then we had somebody else ask the same question, so it's popular.
Great question. So about 90% of the jobs are actually, believe it or not, coming in from AAA or State Farm or Allstate. And they've gone through and they say, hey, we've gone through this motor club. And it's like a game of telephone, right? It starts with the insurance providers, then it goes to the motor clubs, then it ends up with the service providers. That's why it takes well over an hour. So we get the request, and we go out on scene and we help the individual. Yeah, great question. So the question is, how is it monetized? What's the cost to this? And it's kind of the antithesis of the traditional model, where you pay for it, you either use it or you lose it. And it's whether it's $10, $50 a year, that's a waste for me if I didn't have any events. And it's so random. It could happen 3 times in a year, or it could happen 1 time in 3 years. So this is pay per use, just like Uber would be, just like Lyft would be. I have to be careful about saying Uber too much. I had a recent conversation with the legal team at Uber, so go me for getting on their radar, but to be very careful. Yes, good question. Yeah, great question. So the question is, how do you protect yourself against damage or incidental, some type of accident, right? So every service provider has to have a certain type of insurance coverage besides some other very basic qualifications. We as a business also have a very large policy. I won't tell you the dollar amount, it'd blow your mind, but that's the majority of what I'm paying for every month. So that if there were, heaven forbid, some type of situation, the end user would be covered. Yes, question. Right. So you mind restating the question so I can restate it to y'all? Yeah, so we're educating the people that we got. The question is, how do you get people to download the app without knowing about it, really? Every opportunity that we take for a service provider to go out that's been waiting there over an hour, our service provider is trained in a very quick pitch and giving them basically credit, $50 towards their next event that takes place. And it's always an education process. So it's highly benefited, yeah. Thank you. You know, believe it or not, they're asking us the question, how would you like this dispatch? And the gentleman in the front asked, how are these service providers, if it's going to cut them out time, why aren't they using your technology? And this can actually be a clone or duplicated SaaS product that I could sell to a regional or nationwide motor club or insurance company and say, hey, we're going to give all of your all your dispatchers login access so they can manage all of the events that take place. So there's that element too. That's a huge opportunity for us as a business. All right, I don't think there are any more questions, so thank you, everybody.
Awesome. All right. So we're going to double this up. I do have another pair of socks if you were really coveting that last pair. But I also have a shirt, which is Put a Dent in the Universe. This is an XL, so it'll fit everybody to some extent. You know, we've got variety. If you're really tiny or you're on the larger side, don't worry, we will find you another size. But for now, I have this fantastic shirt. Who would like a shirt? This is where you get excited for me. Are we more excited about the shirt or the socks? All right, this young lady in the front was immediate. But I still have a pair of socks, so can those of you who were loud previously? You were first, but he was louder. All right. Also, Justin, can I get that laptop from you, please, sir? Sorry, we got to do some logistics swapping out. Fantastic. Thank you. All right. Are we ready to see our third presenter of the night? Doing good? Yeah. All right. We're going to make you clap a lot tonight. Sorry, I have the microphone. I'm excited about seeing you in person. Please give a warm welcome to Empiricus.
Hey, everyone. Alrighty. Thank you all for coming out. So nice to see everyone in person. My name's Dr. Osama Hashmi. I'm a physician, and I'm Chief Medical Officer, Head of Product for Empiricus, where we are redefining how healthcare is engaged. Now, as a doctor, every day I prescribe dozens of medicines for my patients, and usually what I would like to happen is me, happy doctor, giving a medicine to my patient. He's a happy patient, giving me a thumbs up at the pharmacy. Now, unfortunately, over the past 5 years, there has been a barrier that's been entered into this relationship called the insurance company. So over the past 5 years, more and more insurance companies have decided to act like jerks and say, no, Mr. Doctor, we don't think that you needed to prescribe this medicine. Tell us why you need to prescribe it. And there's a lot of solutions for me to try to talk back to the insurance company. One is I can go to my desktop computer and fill out an electronic form that gets submitted to the insurance company and send it out into the abyss and hope that my patient comes back in 4 months happy. Oftentimes that doesn't work, and oftentimes takes me a lot of time to log onto the computer and do that. The other option is I can try to send that medicine to a different pharmacy. So there's some specialty pharmacies out there that say, hey, we really like dermatologists, and so if you send a skin medicine to us, we'll do all that work with the insurance company, fight them on your behalf. But each pharmacy does different things and works with different medicines, and it's hard for me to know which one to send it to, and I bet nobody knows any pharmacy outside of CVS or Walgreens. And now the last thing that I can do is actually go directly to the drug manufacturer. I can go to the pharma company and say, hey, I'm a doctor, this dude needs a sample and needs to get started on the drug. And they have lots of programs out there to help me. They actually invest millions of dollars into these programs. The issue is that all the time I get hundreds of emails from different pharma companies about their programs. And traditionally, the way that they would get across to us is by face-to-face sales reps. But nowadays, due to ethical things, especially related to the opioid crisis and the way that pharma has traditionally worked with trying to sell doctors, most doctors don't want to talk to sales reps, and that access is going to keep going down. So what happens when I get a request from an insurance company to change the medicine or to justify why I'm prescribing a certain medicine? Data shows that 75% of doctors will actually abandon treatment. They think that this access problem is way too hard to solve, it takes way too much time, and so what it ends up doing is that a doctor like me will just prescribe something different. And that sucks. I've spent 10 years training to figure out what's gonna work for my patients and what's best for them, and to hit this barrier and then have to decide to do something else is a really crappy situation. And what sucks even more is that there's solutions out there, but the interface with them is so difficult that it makes it not worth my time to even try to do, and so it makes horrible care for a lot of people involved. So when I started thinking about this idea last year, I met Sandy, who's sitting in the back. Now, Sandy used to be in the pharma space. He was head of global physician engagement for a $13 billion pharma company. He was in control of tens of millions of dollars of pharma budget, figuring out ways to engage physicians. And he saw the flip side of how frustrating it was for those companies to try to get products and try to get things in front of physicians, even though they might be very useful. So in January, this is a picture taken with us in January for Hippopotamus, we decided to start this system. And it's a really simple system. Think of us as Order Nerd, but for medicines. We basically are a one-stop interface for doctors to use to navigate, what's the best way to try to get a patient on the medicine, whether it's working through a PA program, a specialty pharmacy, or going directly to the manufacturer. For the doctors, it's a really simple web interface where they can log on and see anything that's relevant for their practice, but we also provide a really simple SMS interface where instead of having to log on to a desktop computer, they can send in a request to us. We use AI and a chatbot basically to respond to those requests as well as keep their patients in the loop. Now, for the pharma companies, it provides a giant resource for impact. Basically, they spend millions of dollars putting up a booth at a conference or sending in sales reps to doctors. Instead, they can be on our resource hub, and they can also communicate directly with the physicians that they think are going to be relevant to their product. So over the past 6 months, we've gotten over 2,100 doctors on our system, and it's been awesome getting the messages. I mean, doctors are literally Facebook messaging me saying how awesome it is using this product from a lot of awesome institutions. And then we've also been able, over the past 6 months, to get a lot of the pharma brands on board. What's exciting is each of these brands has multiple sub-brands, and each of those sub-brands pays up to $200,000 a year to access our system, get insights onto what doctors are prescribing, as well as better ways to interface with them. And to finally kind of top off everything, I mean, really why I went to medicine was about patient impact. And one of the most exciting things about this has been patient impact. We've gotten responses from people to our chatbot saying, wow, I'm really excited. I finally got this medicine that I wasn't able to afford for 6 months and I was trying to fight. And although this person is texting a chatbot like this, it's kind of weird. It's also really cool to see this kind of impact that we're having in this space. So thank you all very much for listening to the presentation. Happy to take any questions. All right, question about front. Yeah, no, the pharma sales cycle is really interesting. Yeah, so she asked, we have a lot of cool pharma companies that are working with us right now, and the sales cycle and what the sales cycle looks like. So in pharma, they know that their traditional methods are dying. The sales reps are getting less and less access. Putting Facebook ads and banner ads isn't really working. Emails aren't really working. And so a lot of the budget holders in pharma are very desperate for better tools and desperate for innovation. And so the sales cycle for us has been fairly easy, being able to show that we're a physician-centric, patient-centric company, and we're able to position their products not in the view of like, hey, I'm a sleazy rep trying to just give you a free pen. It's, hey, we're trying to partner on patient impact. It's resonated really well with the pharma companies, and so we've been able to get a lot of clients with that message. Hey, another question in the back.
Seems like hitting big pharma against big health insurance would produce good results for everyone. And it looks like you would have the data to give to pharmaceutical companies to tell them which insurance companies are underperforming on their behalf and give them to apply some pressure. Is that an avenue that you're looking at?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of crazy. The question was basically putting big pharma and big insurance together and pitting them against each other might produce some good outcomes. And that's hopefully the type of ecosystem we're trying to create, is that any barriers to patient care, any barriers to developing good physician-patient relationships, we want to leverage the resources we have, the partners, the pharma companies that we have to fight that. And it's oftentimes really simple. Like the insurance companies just realize that, hey, if we send a message and deny something to a doctor and ask them to respond, most of the time the doctor is not going to respond. And so for us just to make an automated way for the doctor to respond now puts the pressure back on the insurance company to either come out and actually act like jerks or to do better in their way. So hopefully this is like a small step to really innovating a big problem. All right, got another question here. I'll just move to the right. Yeah, so the question was, how challenging is our API integration? So it's actually been pretty interesting. So in healthcare, the technology itself isn't very advanced. And so when we're integrating with these different systems like the EPA systems or with these specialty pharmacies, it's oftentimes just sending like a data dump over to them on a weekly basis. So it's not very complex in terms of the APIs. We're hoping to move everything forward where things are done more real time and things may be challenging in the future, but right now it hasn't been too difficult. All right, question in the back there. Yeah, so the question is, what does the timeline look like from the hospital side, and what's our pricing structure? So this is really important. We are giving this free for physicians, and we are not selling to hospital systems and to like large organizations. And so all of our growth has been word of mouth, physicians signing up themselves saying like, this is a big pain in the butt, I'm just gonna sign up. The upside of that is that now we've gotten upward growth from that. So physicians said, look, I want my entire practice to be on this. I want my hospital to be on this. I literally got a phone call the other day from an ER doctor saying, hey, I want to bring you into like our whole ER. But for us as a small company, as someone who's kind of more focused on doing things at scale, we don't have a sales force when it comes to physicians. It's just kind of word of mouth and they spread it amongst themselves and it's free for them. Yeah, another question? Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think it's a really important one. It was a question of how do we basically navigate this conflict of interest of pharma companies paying us and then also offering services for physicians for certain medicines. So one, we put a really big divide between the concierge services of physicians asking for drugs and pharmaceutical companies promoting certain products or being involved. So basically, any physician asking any drug will always be helped in the best way possible. What we do allow the pharma companies that partner with us to do is develop better interfaces for interacting with those physicians and understanding better things that those physicians would want. So I do think that eventually our pharma partners who work with us will have a better understanding of physicians. That might lead to a competitive advantage in the end, but it's really important from my perspective as a physician to make sure that there's an ethical divide and that any physician or any patient with any medication can get access.
All right, let's give it up for Empiricus.
Thank you, guys.
All right, I have another pair of socks. I know some of y'all are like, man, I yelled a lot, she didn't see me. Don't worry, I have socks. They're good socks. You're not even making noise. It doesn't count if you just raise your hands. All right. This is like a partnership over here. I have one guy whistling and the other guy waving his arms. What is going on? Y'all are gonna have to fight to split these. Maybe you get like one each. You can swap them off on alternate weeks. This very nice gentleman over here has been very quietly yelling at me. Oh, we got all the presenters up here. Okay. I expect great things from 3 presenters, you guys, and all of you should remember to repeat the question. I'm really excited to have everybody here tonight. Don't worry, there's still a shirt left. If you really want socks, come talk to me after. We will see. We ready to go, gentlemen?
We are ready.
Okay. Once more, a warm round of applause for LFG Nexus.
Hi guys, we are LFG Nexus. LFG Nexus stands for looking for group, looking for game, looking for game master, looking for guild. We are a social media platform for gamers, by gamers.
Oh, we jumped way too far.
Live demo. All right.
No, that's me.
I'm actually not the CTO. Actually, my name is Adam Gerson. I'm the CEO and founder. I've been a gamer for about 40 years now. And additionally, when I'm not gaming, I do SEO. I'm a manager here at a local business in Atlanta. And let me introduce you to Mark.
Hi, my name is Mark. I'm the Chief Development Officer. I've been gaming for about 45 years. I'm a financial planner by day, but I was raising venture capital for .coms back in the 90s.
And I'm Ryan Grierson. I'm the CIO, and I've been a gamer for about 35 years. I've worked in the gaming industry as well as an operation manager for many companies throughout the Atlanta area. So let me go ahead and kick us off here. LFG Nexus is the disruptor of social media. In that aspect of we are for gamers, by gamers. In the social media industry right now, we have an issue where we cannot find the content we want in one centralized location. So LFG Nexus is going to come in and make that a game changer. Pun intended. So the idea is that we have an opportunity here to say, who's a gamer? If you're a gamer in here, raise your hand. Okay, a little smaller crowd here. But how about you out there? Are you on watch YouTube? Do you play video games? Do you play mobile games? What about RPGs, board games? We have the opportunity here to say we're going to set up a social media platform for all gamers, not just mobile, not just video. So when you sit there and you say, hey, how are we doing this? Well, we're bringing all the content to one location. Whether you're streaming, want your social content, whether you want to chat with people, create event, create groups, be able to socialize your idea, we're the place for your gaming needs. As you can see, over 200 million people identify as a mobile gamer. Even cross-pollinate into video gaming. But how many of you hear about card gamers, board gamers, RPGers, miniature gamers? Here in the United States, 66% of people identify as some form of gamer. In the world, it's the same number. We are going to change the game of how to meet your other gamers that enjoy the same interest as you.
So one of the parts that was left out earlier is that the market has 2.5 billion users with about 116 billion in revenue and growing to over 200 billion by the next 2 or 3 years. Now, our revenue model is based on two simple approaches. Pages, which is subscription-based. Anybody can get a free profile online, but if you want to stream, advertise, or do other things, it's a tiered approach. The second one is just traditional advertising, skyscraper, banner ads. You pay for those, we get you on the map. We're projecting that our market value right now before fundraising is about 2.3. If we can hit these numbers, we're going to be about an $80 million company by the third year. We're projecting to have about 100,000 users within the first year. We think that could happen a lot sooner, but we're on track to get there.
So let me go ahead and actually show you a little bit more about what we're talking about, because talking is one thing, but seeing is another.
We got a cool video to show you.
If it will work. It worked in demo. Go to the next slide. We'll go ahead and move on.
Live demo.
Yep. So at this point in time,
Here we go.
there we are.
So it's an actual site. We've got a map feature that allows companies to go ahead and post themselves and post events. You can also go ahead and find streamers of various games, different genres that you can also track online. And you can do a little bit more of an interactive approach. We also have the ability to go ahead and find groups, post blogs, also find people. Looking for group is the big thing behind it.
Create events, create groups, create the environment you want. How can you do it? LG Nexus, for gamer, by gamer.
Do we have any questions?
Nicely done.
Go ahead.
So the reason why I don't participate in a lot of online communities is because they're trolls. So how are you going to mod the community such that realms, women, all the others feel safe?
Well, so how do we prevent trolls in social media? First off, good luck. Second off, AI. Levels of mediation, but we are open to a point saying we're being 18 plus, right? And the muting capability, you don't want to hear it, you don't want people to see it, that's on your onus as well. But we will help you. You want to report it, you want to bring it into us. As we progress, we'll get more AI, and we'll have moderators that'll be able to help you in your endeavor to create your community.
Let me add a little bit. We also want to have the community participate in obviously letting us know as moderators and owners what's going on. So it takes an entire group to do that.
It takes a community.
Yeah.
There's an online question. What is the major difference between your product and something like Twitch?
I could actually take that. So the question is, how are we different than Twitch? And to be honest, we're not. We actually embed Twitch into our live stream. I'm not sure if you got a chance to see it while it was on the video, but what we're actually doing is we're pulling in Twitch feeds so that people can be found as well as you could find the next Twitch streamer that you want to follow. So we actually work with Twitch. We're actually looking for other different integrations with other companies as well. We're trying to be that one-stop shop that has everything in one place. So we're also building out stores. We're working with trying to pull in Etsy shops. We're doing all sorts of things to bring it into this one location.
That one-stop shop mentality. Sir? Myself or us as a group? Yeah, I've been in the game industry for 35 years. So I've actually worked on various games for game designers work. So what games have I helped develop and work on throughout time? So back in 1991, I actually went to Dragon Con here. I started working in a demo, working with Gary Gygax and Dave Newton with a game called Dangerous Journeys, which followed up, which was the predecessor after the fact from D&D. From there, I worked with Dan Fox, with Hamilbrea and a couple other things, and actually was offered a job with Wizards of the Coast at one point in time back in 1994. So between that and working with local LARPs and other designers here in the Atlanta area, I've actually been in tune with the gaming industry, both from a digital mindset, card mindset, and written mindset.
Do we have any other?
Yes, ma'am. Can you repeat that? So our approach for acquiring users, first off, stream of mouth. Second off, local. We are focused here in Atlanta. This is Atlanta Startup Village, right? Why wouldn't we start here? We want to get as many gamers from the Atlanta area using our platform and branch out as a hub and spoke radio model from this location. Because Atlanta is one of the largest communities for gamers and geek stardom. As I said, Dragon Con. What's better than that? That's where we're from.
Just real quick, another thing that we'll be doing is, as someone that's been doing digital marketing for over 12 years, we'll be reaching out using organic as well as paid search, podcasts, different vlogging, reaching out to just all different types of influencers, not only just influencers, but just running ads and just targeting people that we know that be interested into gaming.
Go ahead. What is the business model? Mark, why don't you take that?
Well, the basic business model is to use something that's commentary, but we want to be the Facebook of gaming, and what we want to do is aggregate content users to come onto our site, but do it within a gaming environment, a gaming mentality, not just for video games, but also for board games, miniature games, stuff that you normally do anyway. And we also want to help bring the social aspect back to gaming on a local level. We're going to do a grassroots movement to get the community and the gamers within the Atlanta market to first use the website, connect online, and then actually meet physically for a drink, a bar, an actual game in a location. That's what's going to drive the revenue model. When we can get people to come into local businesses to use their location and have them actually pay to not only advertise, but to post an event where they're hosting a D&D game. That's our business model. That's our revenue. We think that once we get people out there in this grassroots movement, we're going to make a lot of money.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Atlanta Tech Village. Thank you, Gamers of Atlanta.
All right. I have a shirt, and this actually is one of my favorite shirts. Home is where your startup is. I was in an airport in Seattle, and somebody saw me wearing this shirt, and it turns out they had been to Atlanta Tech Village. So I'm just saying that there's street cred on these, and I think actually there's a limited edition of them, so they aren't making this one anymore. This one's a large. Are you going to be picky, Maurice? Is this pickiness? Are you not into the large? Oh my God. Okay. This is a great shirt. You cut the shoulder off, wear it on the side. Come on. Fashion. All right. Anybody interested in? Sure. Okay. Oh, I have got some loud gentlemen over here in the corner. You already had socks. You don't get a shirt. I know you're loud, but you already got socks. Are you ready? Okay. Dad was born ready. All right. This is our final presentation of the night. Again, do not disappear when Pat finishes pitching, because you know what you still have to do? I'm going to say vote, and you're going to repeat after me. You know what you still have to do? That's right. And those of you at home, we need you too. It's been running between 50 and 100 people on this stream. I expect all of you to be voting later. I can see the results. We're going to put them up after Thad pitches. I will throw another shirt, maybe a pair of socks. Who knows? I don't know what Hilton gave me. So whatever she gave me is what's going to get thrown out. All right. Are you ready? No pressure, Thad. You're going to bring us home?
Sounds good.
Okay. Our last presentation of the night. Give a warm, warm welcome for Park Int Cycles.
Hey guys, I'm Thad with Parkint, and we have the world's first universal secure e-bike charging station. Now, we're focused on the micromobility market, and you know it as the bicycles, the scooters, but we're more on the e-bicycles, the e-bikes, because e-bike sales are booming. Sales are up 147% from 2019 due to all things COVID. Bike shops have 3,000 back orders apiece, and 10 e-bikes are being sold for every electric car sold today. The Parkint, we're looking to develop a new market between the e-bike market of going from $23 billion from 2019 to $41 billion today, and the car charging station market, which now has over 100,000 stations nationwide and growing. But e-bikes, there's no place to charge. There's no public secure parking or charging. Every e-bike rider has range insecurity anxiety. They're gonna run out of power at some point, and then they have to use a bike lock to lock their bike up, which can be broken in like under 30 seconds. So these things cost the price of a small car. So what are you gonna do about it? We're coming out with the world's first universal secure e-bike charging station. And if this background looks familiar, it's because it's downstairs here at Atlanta Tech Village, one floor below us, between the bike racks and the car charging stations, because we do both and more. Just to show you how easy it is to use here, we have a lovely demonstration as soon as it will play. Well, go back, see if it'll do it again here. Well, what you would be seeing here is a person riding up and being able to use the station. That is what I am trying to do right now. Person riding up and using the station, and then up there we go. The video does not want to play for some reason. She would click into the station and then use the app to go ahead and, as she is locking her bike into the station, would secure the wheel and the frame of the bicycle. Now, these are Bluetooth connected stations, so that as she is being connected into it, we're looking to do cellular connectivity eventually in the future, and so that we can get a much further way of being able to connect to. And as she connects through, we have it so it identifies you to have the spokes alert, so that because we are putting a bar through the wheel of the bicycle, through the spokes, another part is we're putting a metal bar through the frame to secure it to the station. Now, hopefully, if I click again, it'll show that as she's coming back to it, how it is secured to the station. She also plugged her bicycle into the station because she is riding an e-cargo bike from Edison Bicycles. And once again, the video is just not wanting to play. Don't know why. But an e-cargo bike from Edison Bicycles. Our bike racks have 110 AC ports with a 300 watt capacity up to 600 watts peak. And they have a 1 kilowatt of backup power involved so that you can have power to charge your e-bike even when the power is out in the area. And as soon as they press the unlock button, the bars retract and allowing a person to be able to pull out their bike and be able to ride off to go to whatever they want to do. Now these these stations will adjust to any bike on the market, whether it be a regular e-bike, a cargo e-bike like the one in this picture right here, an e-trike, or even a pedicab can go ahead and lock up in our stations. Now, it goes to that slide nicely, go figure. The Mobility Lab in 2017 reported that there are 8 parking spaces for every car in the United States. That's only one paying customer. Well, with our stations, you can get 6 stations into 1 parking space. That's 12 paying customers for a parking spot at a higher frequency. For our first customers we're looking at as retail businesses. The second ones are corporate enterprises where you can have a greener, healthier work commute option, and also municipalities who can promote more urban mobility for citizens with mobility hubs. Now, the benefits are like the 30C EV infrastructure tax credit for businesses, where it covers the 30% of the cost of installation up to $30,000, which means you could possibly get up to 4 stations for free. There are lead points involved that you can apply for, healthy work environment tax credits, and alternative commute rebates. Now, we got to thank Mobile App Hero for sponsoring our first station, which is located right below us, down at Atlanta Tech Village on the 2nd floor, so you can come and check it out yourself. Thank you to Atlanta Tech Village for allowing us to install it, and Edison Bicycle for being the first e-bike to actually charge in our station, and to Katie Kistler, who is running for Atlanta City Council, for coming on to demonstrate our e-bikes in the station, which I'm sorry you weren't able to see because the video decided to not work. Well, we were struck by this on the way out of our video shoot, said it's only a crazy dream until you do it. Well, guess what, people? We did it. We're Parkent, I'm Thad, and we're actively taking orders right now. I guess we'll time it out. Repeat the question. Questions. Oh, hand up in the back. Okay, the question is, can we do away with the lock of the bar through the frame and the other bar through the wheel? Because people carry their own bike locks. Well, this was originally developed as a secure bike rack, like a smart bike rack, in direct response to people's own bike locks being cut, which can be done in under 30 seconds with an angle grinder I can buy at Lowe's or Home Depot's for $40. I've done it. I don't recommend it. But yeah, any bike lock on the market can be cut in under 30 seconds. It does not matter what the brand is. And we've even talked to police departments, the Atlanta, Georgia Tech Police Department, that are recommending our station above the bike locks. Now, there is the hassle of what if the app doesn't work? What if that? So we're contracting out on-site partners to be able to come to the aid of a situation if something were to happen. But at the same time, if something were to happen, your bike will stay locked in that station and it will be secure. So therefore, you don't have to worry about your $7,000 road bike being stolen or your $15,000 electric bike because you just went the extra mile being stolen. So,
Dad, I've got 2 questions online. What if the phone dies? Is there an alternative to unlock it? And how do people pay?
Okay, if the phone dies, is there an alternative to unlock it? At this first generation, it is phone activated. We are taking advice for the second generation. to have keypad activation and other types of ways to access the station. And we are actively rolling those into the second generation, which will be after the first 10. And what was the other part of the question? And how do people pay? How do people pay? If you are using the station, you are not paying. It is free, because otherwise you're charging a cell phone batteries, essentially, the amount of power being used. We are actually selling these to the properties for $7,000 a piece. At this point in time, we want to move that to a leasing model and eventually just get to advertising to be able to pay for that. We're not there yet. We have our first station installed here at Atlanta Tech Village, so we're getting there. But as a person using the station, you don't pay.
I think you may have partially answered another online question which asked about your business model in more detail.
Business model in more detail. Well, as you've heard Dries, before, as a user, you don't pay, and we're trying to get the money for the advertising. So that's where we're trying to get to at this point in time. We're following the same steps as the scooter charging stations that are currently out in the public domain. That's exactly the stages they went through to get to the point where advertising revenue is able to pay for all these stations, where we advertise in the phone app. So as soon as you lock your bicycle into the station, you will see the deals of the local area. We also are, I didn't mention this in the presentation, we also can run off of solar. So we're looking at getting solar kickbacks from the places of the municipalities and stuff like that, where we can actually, given the right situation, we can put energy back into the grid if a large enough deployment is made. Oh, I got three questions over here. The market for this opportunity is what the question was, and I think the market is booming right now because no one's been able to solve the security issue for e-bikes. They've done it for scooters, and they've done it for other stuff, but no one has been able to touch e-bikes because no one's been able to solve the security issue of keeping the bikes secure while they're charging. We started with security. We moved into charging. So the market is a situation where with every 10 e-bikes being sold for an electric car, the United States market is small, and the European market's 3 times that. The Chinese market just sold, I think it was $7 billion in Q3 of last year alone. So we can access all of that as well. Let's see here. As an investor, can you put that in dollars and cents? Well, like I said in the presentation, the e-bike market has grown from $23 billion to $41 billion as well. And comparatively, you're looking at the car charging market at 100,000 car chargers across the nation. That's $50,000 per car charging station. So you're looking up in the tens of millions of dollars range. I can't get an exact number because whole numbers are just, I work better on complex solutions.
All right, let's give it up for Thad Parkins Cycles. All right, so what we're gonna do, because people have started voting already, rapidly, the same place that we were asking people to put their questions earlier, I'm not responsible for this. Yeah, it's fine, we turned it off, we're good. If you guys would go to sli.do, Slido, ATLSV79, and there is a poll, there is a live poll. It has all of these lovely people here tonight. You only get to vote once, you can't rig it, I'm sorry. Please load this up and give us a vote. And can I get some music while we do this? And can you guys, anytime now, show me the live voting so you guys can see it switching over. All right, never mind. Apparently the live voting is having technical issues. So we are carrying on. And Hilton, you're going to have to yell the winner in just a minute. We're going to give it about a minute. So while we're doing this, I have 2 more shirts. And some of you guys are like, why is she holding more shirts up? And it's because there's several of you still yelling loudly. You can't have another shirt. You already got a shirt. All right, but one of these is a medium, Maurice. Okay, that was not nearly loud enough. That was sort of loud. Oh, all right, see? Maurice does not care as much about the medium. I have 2 shirts, 2 shirts, 2 shirts. We've got some people in the back. We have some people in the back. You have been very loud. Would you rather have the large or the medium? All right. I still have 1 shirt up for grabs, people. Okay. I hear you. You've had your arms up, but you're not very loud. Jeffrey? Jeffrey, is that it? Come on. Give me a little more. I don't think so. Yeah, it counts. Jeffrey, you're killing me. You've had your arms up. Anybody else want to fight Jeffrey for this shirt? See, this is, Jeffrey, you're killing me, man. All right. How excited are you to be here tonight, Jeffrey? This is the hardest sell I've ever had to do for a shirt. Guys. All right, Jeffrey is putting up with me, shaming him for not yelling more, so I will, in fact, gift him the shirt because you are a good sport. Thank you, Jeffrey. Give Jeffrey a round of applause. All right, guys, it is 44% neck and neck. Who has not voted? Y'all, you got to vote. Oh, it's moving. Empiricus, it's coming back. People at home, I expect you to be voting. Oh, y'all, okay. This is very tight. Oh, okay. We're gonna have to call it at a certain time. It is 8:36. I'm gonna call this at 8:38, so you guys have a minute and whatever seconds are. 45. Has anybody in this audience not voted? Come on. I know I don't have any more shirts to prompt you. Ooh, Empiricus is eking ahead. That's your no. I think that was an Order Nerd fan who is now sad. Oh, okay. Order Nerd is coming back. Those of you at home, I know there's a slight delay. You are important. We need you. Because I'm pretty sure that everybody now, there's still people on their phones. Are y'all gaming the system? What is happening? 45%, 43%. Oh, we're so close. 8:37. All right. While I let everybody harass themselves to finish voting between now and 8:38 and calling it 8:38, if you are interested in presenting, we are going to restart the Lovely Pitch Off starting in August. We're every other month. If you're interested in presenting, you just need to be based in Atlanta. You need to be a startup in terms of size, funding, age. You also need to have something that's either demoable as a live demo, so at least beta version. Don't send me any InVision docs. Everything looks good in InVision, guys. Come on. Or if you have a physical product, you have to have a prototype. These are the only rules. I have, in fact, put on shoes that were prototypes and worn them around up here. People have done all sorts of things. Please come see me after, and we will put you up. Okay, guys. It is 8:37. Y'all, this is probably closer than I anticipated. I'm 8:38. Empiricus is the winner. That was close. Thank you all for playing. We will be back in August in some form. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Please chat amongst yourselves. Grab another beer.
And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they stay there, up, down, up, down. Put your hands in the air, make them stay there.
Ludacris going in on the verse, cause I never been defeated and I won't stop now. Keep your hands up, beat them in the sky for the homies that ain't making it, my folks locked down. I never went nowhere. What they saying Luda's back, blame it on that contour. We call it Ludiac, and I'm on this foolish track, so I spit my foolish flow. My hands go up and down, like strippers' booties go. My verses still be serving, like a million virgins. Last time on a college remix, now I'm on the original version. Can't never count me out, y'all better count me in. Got 20 bank accounts, accountants count me in. Make millions every year, the South champion. Cause all I do, all I do is win, no matter what. I can never get enough, no. Every time I step up in the building, everybody go up. And they stay there, and they stay there, and they stay there, up, down, up, down, up, down. Cause I win. Put your hands in the air, make them stay there. Swerving in my low, Head on the swivel, you know serving me's a no-no. Clean as a whistle as I pull out in my Rolls Royce. Yellow bone passenger, they see it, they say, oh boy. Tell Cali back it up, my niggas call me loco. Down for armed trafficking, don't make me pull that fofo. Ask you what you laughing at, represent that mud life. Dirty money, bitch, you better get your mud right. We come together, holding hands and holler thug life. We all strapping all black, it's like Bud Light.
All we do is win.